Are you like me, fat, a little bit retarded?
Yes, Jefferson County Municipal Court. I was feeling 25 over in my 220,000 mile SUV. $300 ticket. So r/anti-work, am I right?
And argue about cars you cannot afford?
Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield! Oh, now I'm a pussy. What do you want me to use? Faggot. You tell me you want to fucking use.
If you said yes to even one of these, today's list is probably for you. Maybe it isn't. I really don't know, man. Today's video, I'm going to be counting down in no specific order. Damn. Fuck. In today's video, I'm going to be counting down in no specific order 5 cheap cars that can be fun daily drivers, meaning they firstly need to be reliable, good on gas, but lastly, fun to drive. I know that's kind of a downer for some people. I will include price points in the video and a few good examples along with statistics such as horsepower, average miles per gallon, and what parts you can find in the aftermarket. But who cares? It's not like you're coming to me if you could afford these cars anyway. You're probably going to use daddy's money and get a fucking Fiesta ST, so... First up on the list is the Scion XV. I know it's one of the most beautifully handcrafted pieces of automotive art, but its generally shitty looks is, outside of that, it's actually a pretty solid car. Coming out in 2005, the first generation had a list of interesting features, including a 2.4-liter 1NZ FE throwing down an impressive 103 horsepower. I'm kind of being sarcastic, but it's a commuter car, so, I mean, it's not bad. It'd be great on gas. 14-inch slotted rotors, 20-inch aluminum wheels, but probably not in 2022. You can get one of these with a 4-speed auto or a 5-speed manual. And considering most were bought out by old people and the manuals are mostly low mileage, considering Stacy didn't get one as a first car in 2005, they're going to be well maintained. A good running example can run you about $4,000 to $5,000 USD. Since gas is really expensive, you can expect an impressive 34 miles per gallon on average. But I know who I'm talking to. You're going to probably push this car and not take care of it. That's okay. It's actually very well built by Toyota on the Toyota NBC platform. Just to list a few of the quality cars that were built on this platform, you have the Toyota Yaris, Vitz, and Echo, just to list a few. Maybe the XB is also probably unappealing for you, so let's check out some of the aftermarket options and other generations. The second and third gen might be a bit on the high side, being a cross between a Civic hatch and a Kia Soul, 2 cars that can be great in their own right, but I'm not really going to go into those too much right now. Up next, we have the infamous Honda Fit, the first and second gen, a car that, like the Miata, wasn't really anything that special until TikTok fuckboys got a hold of it. This was Honda's answer to the people of the market who wanted a car that was minimal, small, and good on gas, although the Honda Fit had a few things up its sleeve. My personal favorite being its minimalism, and that makes it really lightweight because there's not a bunch of dumbass fucking iPads in the way. It's really stiff and great on gas, making it amazing for continuous canyon runs. You can expect something around high 30s to 40s in your gas mileage. The nice thing is, if you look around long enough, you can find the L-Series Honda engine, the 1.5 BU, in the same generation, allowing the car to have in the ballpark of 110 to 120 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs. Sporting Honda's flagship VTEC system, getting 114 foot-pounds of torque at 7,000 RPMs. Yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, also available in the Fit was a amazing 5-speed Honda transmission and the Mushmatic piece of shit 7-speed automatic transmission. So, how does the car actually stack up? Well, it's pretty reliable. You won't have any issues as it's a Honda, but the car does have some very minor issues, not uncommon to most economy cars, that being the cheap insulation and some interior pieces being lacking, and the ride being stiff and rough, but that's nothing too much to worry about as they are pieces of shit little Econo boxes, so I don't know why you're complaining. But parts are easy to find and replace. There's a huge aftermarket. Anything else of note? I would say stay away from the automatics and CVTs, same with the hybrid or EV models. You can find them for around 4,000 to 7,000 USD, and I don't know, you can expect 300,000 miles if you take care of it. As of March of 2022, though, you're probably going to find probably 150k miles at $4,000 if you are really close and meticulous and you monitor the market. Well, it's fucking Miata. What is there to say about it? I mean, they're great cars. They're lightweight. They're sometimes cheap if you look everywhere. You want an NA, go ahead and get one with an automatic, the 1.6. It'll be low mile, probably well maintained because nobody wants the automatic transmission. If you don't want an automatic transmission, I'd probably just go with an NB. If you don't like the NB, tough shit. Good luck finding an NA with not 200,000 miles, hasn't been abused, balding tires, beat to shit, $7,000, 8 different owners. Like, holy fuck, do I even need to continue? It's a Miata. Good luck finding one. They're like 8.6 prices now. They're like, it's not even, it's pointless. But if you can get an automatic NA, you will have a blast. It's still a fun car. Honestly, manual transmission does not make everything. It's really about how you drive it and how you take care of it. My advice, if you want the NA, go ahead and just try and get an automatic one. And if you just want it for the style and looks and, oh boy, convertible, manual transmission isn't really required. I've actually seen a couple for $4,000 to $5,000. Miata, really good choice, fun car. NB, get one with a stick, and you could probably find it with 150,000 miles, maybe $5,000 to $7,000. That's about it. Fucking Miata, not much to add. As salty as I do sound, though, these cars are a fucking blast. If you can get your hands on one, just get one. NB, NA, NC, ND, who cares? They are just a fun time to be had. It's like a little go-kart with like 100 horsepower, and you can drift them. Huge aftermarket, by the way. Honestly, there's anything and everything about these cars out there on the internet. You can find a guide, you can find anything. So, if you can find one for whatever your price point being under $5,000, totally get one though. I'm only pissed just because people talk about them all the time. So if you really want to watch like a good video, look up 303 Garage's video on the Miata or RCR, Regular Car Reviews, Miata video. They do a much better job. There are hundreds of videos out there. Anyway, next car.
Oh, we are. This is not a good idea.
I'm ready and I'm not afraid.
I'm not really an outdoors boy. I'm more of an inside man.
I'm so cool.
This was my idea. What am I doing?
So up next we have the Toyota Corolla and Toyota Celica, respectively. Most are basically the same car, but the Celica being a two-door hatch sport coupe version of the Toyota Corolla. The Celica sporting a similar engine to the Corolla. I'm going to be honest, I won't muddy the water too much for non-car people, but I'll keep it basic enough to understand. The Corolla being Toyota's flagship entry-level sedan, sporting a bunch of very quality engines, although the transmissions at the time compared to the Honda competitors were kind of lacking. Not bad or unreliable, but just kind of lacking. While most Celicas now are getting up in the 200,000 mile range, and the Corolla's even higher than that, it can kind of vary in quality for some, so it kind of just depends. Most things will apply, though, to both cars, as they are both on the Toyota MC platform line, the Toyota Corolla being a much more economical version of the Celica, with both cars getting around 35-ish miles per gallon, better in the Corolla than the Celica. The Celica of this time supported the 2ZZ-GE engine. The same engine in the Lotus Elise, although the Lotus had a lot of different features to make it hit the high rev range. Speaking of which, the 2ZZ-GE made 180 horsepower at 7,600 RPMs and 130 foot-pounds of torque at 6,800 RPMs. So, needless to say, it likes to rev. Some of the rarer Corollas got this motor, but the majority of the Corollas from this time period had a lower displacement 1.8-liter 1ZZ FE, basically a worse version of the 2ZZ. Yeah, sorry, I kind of cut myself off there. Basically, yeah, 2ZZ is better than the 1ZZ, but neither are bad motors, and they will get you from point A to point B with no issue. So, let's get down to the obvious. As for price points, these cars can vary on mileage and transmission, but most sit around $3,500 and $4,800 USD, and not to mention, parts are interchangeable, so even if you can't find another Celica at your local junkyard, you could have a same-generation Corolla to donate parts for some things. So in conclusion, if I had to pick one of the two cars myself, since I'm counting them as one spot on the list, I would personally recommend that you get, for like the fun factor, the Celica, and the Corolla if you just need to get from point A to point B, that being work or school. So anyway, next car. Honda or Acura Integra is a great car, straight up competitor to the Celica. I would say it's a better Celica with an amazing 5-speed, or you can get them in an automatic. There are a couple of different versions, being the DC2 and DC4 in the generation that I'm speaking of, the third gen, which was made from 1993 until 2002. Now, the Integra itself has a B18C or B18B engine, both making around 150 to 170 horsepower. You can get a couple of different versions, the SI, the GSR, a bunch of stuff. You could go look at it for yourself if you would like to know, but most of them have a B-Series Honda motor. So, there's not really going to be any issue of reliability. There's a huge aftermarket, and most cost for anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 depending on where you look. Now, any generation before that is not bad either. You can get those for about the same price, and if I had to guess, somewhere around 200,000 to 150,000 miles or higher. But you can expect great reliability from these cars. Gas mileage isn't exactly amazing, but it's not bad either. Somewhere around 29 to 31.